this driver until he decides to give up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. U-turn on the southbound side of the 405. U-turn on the freeway. He is now going the wrong way on the 405. Oh my goodness.
And that was a moment a chaotic pursuit through the San Fernando Valley came to a dramatic end there on the 405. Julia Dean gave us a live bird's eye view of the chase from News Chopper 4. The driver was wanted for burglary. This one is one of the most stunning moments there was. There was a confrontation between the driver and someone on a motorbike. The driver also at one point hit another driver. In fact, we spoke with that person this morning.
I don't even know what to think. And I mean, honestly, like, I feel next step is just going to be getting a praise, see what I can do, and try to move on.
The driver in the pursuit was arrested.
All right, we see these pursuits sometimes go on for a very, very long time. Often there are moments when we look at it and it looks like people or police should intervene. They should stop what's going on. Our investigative reporter, Eric Leonard, is here right now. Why doesn't that happen? Who makes the call out there?
Well, while the pursuit is going on, it is typically what is called the incident commander, which can be the officer in the pursuit if they're the only ones. Then it can escalate to a field supervisor, a sergeant. Then it can be taken over by the highest ranking person at the police station. And in some rare cases, we'll see someone even higher ranked in the department step in and make a judgment call about whether or not to either intervene or call the whole thing off, which actually we've been seeing more of in the last couple of years. There's just so much danger involved in these that the department is being urged to reconsider some of what it does. I pulled the latest data that we have, which is actually from 2023 to 2024. I know that's old, but it's what we've got. And in that 1 year period, the LAPD was involved in just more than 1,000 car chases, and of those, a third of them ended in crashes. So this is an extraordinarily dangerous thing, and when we see them making decisions about what to do in a pursuit, most of the time, the decision is to stop or to back off or to let the helicopter track. It is a rare moment when they decide to do something physical to try to step in and stop it from going on. You know, as to your question, why not today? There's a bunch of different factors they look at, and the key factor that that guides their decision is it more dangerous to let this pursuit continue right now, or is it more dangerous to intervene and cause a crash as they would do using the pursuit intervention technique, the pit maneuver, as we see sometimes, or something different like a spike strip.
And about the pit maneuver, sometimes the car will end up facing them, and that's a dangerous situation for the officers.
Yeah, it can be. And the reason that's dangerous is especially if you're chasing or if they're chasing somebody who they believe is armed. The last thing they want to do is create a face-to-face confrontation. But sometimes they don't know if the person's armed, and so they'll make that decision to try it. But there's a bunch of factors. The officers in the chase have to be trained on the technique, and they have to have recent training on it, and that's not everybody. The speeds have to be, in a way, low enough that they can avoid causing a much more serious collision. And then the car they're chasing has to fit the profile of one that they can spin out. So a lot of factors have to line up.
You know, it's easy for us to Monday morning quarterback when we see these chases, but how often does the LAPD or any law enforcement really assess some of these chases and the rules of engagement on it?
It's an ongoing discussion. In fact, the oversight board for the LAPD, the police commission, was speaking about this in July. The commissioners who are appointed by the mayor to guide the department on policy are clearly considering more restrictions. In fact, some research that they did back then showed that the LAPD has some of the loosest restrictions of the major law enforcement agencies here. And so there's clearly at least a consideration of tightening those up.
Very interesting. I could talk about this all day. Eric Leonard, thank you.
One other quick observation, and that is drivers are getting smarter about what they can do and where they can get away, where these so-called blind spots are.
You're absolutely right, and that's only gotten worse from the perspective of the police because we've seen some air traffic control decisions recently. The FAA concerned about the potential of mid-air collisions, limiting access even to police helicopters in certain parts of the city, and that's made their job somewhat more difficult.
But you're right. More to come on this.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Between the CHP and the different departments, who decides what? It's a very interesting topic. Eric, thank you.
Sure thing.